The war in Ukraine is still raging. May 12, 2026. SBU Alpha unit. FPV drones in the air and Russian soldiers on the ground have no answer. Open terrain, no cover, no defense. The drone finds them every time. Some run, some freeze. Some try to hide behind thin trees or broken walls. Nothing works. This is not a battle. This is systematic targeting of infantry that has lost the ability to protect itself. When every patrol ends the same way, how does an army keep sending more soldiers into the same kill zone? This footage shows one of the most unusual moments on the front line. In a state of panic, a Russian soldier begins crawling across the ground with strange, erratic movements after noticing the drones watching him from above. Instead of taking cover or attempting to engage the drone, he appears completely overwhelmed by the situation. Encounters like this show how psychological pressure from constant drone surveillance can affect soldiers long before an actual strike happens. Moments later, the FPV drone strikes him. A drone operator from the 414th Magyar Birds scans the flat terrain of the Donetsk region. Then, a lone soldier appears ahead, walking across open ground. The drone continues forward, accelerating. The soldier sees it coming, tries to run, but doesn't get far. When there's no cover and the drone closes the gap in seconds, what hope does a lone soldier have? Before Russian infantry can even reach the trenches, Signum Battalion is already watching. They are intercepted in the open, in the forest, trying to find cover. Those who fire back with small arms don't last longer than those who run. Modern warfare has changed. Drones now account for up to 80% of Russian losses on the front line. Civilian devices transformed into precision weapons. Fast, autonomous, and relentless. When 80% of battlefield losses come from above, what chance does infantry have without air cover? A Russian soldier on a motorcycle thought speed would save him. It didn't. Once an FPV drone locks on, escaping across open terrain becomes extremely difficult. This time, the Ukrainian FPV drone operator found a Russian soldier sleeping beneath a tree. The older soldier did not even appear to be carrying a weapon when the drone approached. He was unable to escape. This footage captures one of the strangest moments seen on the front line. A Russian soldier swings a small tree branch at an incoming FPV drone, trying to knock it away. It doesn't work. The drone keeps coming. Ukrainian reconnaissance drones spotted a Russian soldier entering a small structure. FPV drones immediately moved in, and 3 separate strikes followed. If 3 FPV drones are used against a single soldier, the scale of Ukraine's drone presence is hard to miss. These moments, recorded by Ukrainian reconnaissance drones, may be some of the most desperate and unusual seen on the front line. A Russian soldier lies alone inside a shallow crater in extremely poor condition. His camouflage is torn, he has no visible weapon, and there is no one else around him. He simply looks around and waits inside the hole, exhausted, vulnerable, and completely exposed. While reconnaissance drones continue observing him from above, an FPV drone is already being sent toward his position. The soldier appears completely unaware that he is being watched. Footage like this highlights the physical and psychological exhaustion many soldiers on the front line are enduring. Moments later, the FPV drone closes in. The soldier panics and raises his hands in a pleading gesture, but nothing changes the outcome. The drone flies directly into him. 2 Russian soldiers moving toward ruins, spotted by Skelia 425 drone operators before they could reach cover. The first FPV strikes immediately. 1 soldier down. The second watches it happen and runs into the tree line, pressing against the trunks, trying to disappear. The drone follows, finds him under the trees. 2 soldiers, 2 separate decisions, same outcome. A drone operator from the 101st Guard Brigade, 3rd Battalion, was conducting a routine reconnaissance flight when 3 Russian soldiers were spotted moving along a road below. The soldiers noticed the drone, raised their rifles, and opened fire. But the drone kept closing in. 1 soldier was struck, The others could only watch. Kharkiv region. Paskuda Battalion of the 3rd Assault Brigade conducting coordinated drone strikes across the sector. Russian infantry on foot, soldiers on motorcycles and quad bikes, and armored vehicles, all targeted during the same operation. Different targets, different movement speeds, same result. Heavy bomber drones were used against larger positions, while FPV drones hunted fast-moving infantry and vehicles. 2 drone systems operating together in a single coordinated sweep. Almost nothing moving on the ground managed to avoid detection or attack. When heavy bombers and FPV drones control the same sector at the same time, what movement options are left on the battlefield? A column of 20 Russian soldiers moves openly from Bakhmut toward Chasiv Yar. No armor, no cover. The 24th Mechanized Brigade and the 427th UAV Brigade Rarog coordinate, artillery and drones working together. This is a basic tactical error. Moving infantry in open terrain without reconnaissance or air cover creates a concentrated, slow-moving target that any observer can spot and strike. The column is hit. The advance stops. When infantry moves across open ground with no protection, what chance does a single soldier have? 1 week. More than $1 million worth of Russian drones destroyed. Over 7 days in the Donetsk region, operators from the Safari and Dnipro 1 regiments of the Lyut Brigade intercepted dozens of Russian UAVs. Among them were Molniya, Gerbera, Lancet, Zala Z-16, Supercam S-350, BM-35, and Shahed drones. The reported value of the destroyed systems exceeded $1.15 million. This is the growing reality of drone warfare. Relatively cheap interceptor systems destroying far more expensive aerial assets before they ever reach their targets. Every intercepted drone is one less strike against Ukrainian positions, infrastructure, or logistics. When interception units can eliminate this many drones in just a week, is drone defense becoming one of the most effective parts of modern warfare? Ambush drones. FPV units pre-positioned on the ground, waiting silently along movement routes. No operator nearby, no active signal, just a hidden drone ready to activate the moment a vehicle or soldier passes. These have become one of Ukraine's priority targets on the front. Unlike drones already in the air, ambush drones remain almost invisible until the last moment, threatening supply routes, evacuations, and troop movements. The only counter is to find them first. Reconnaissance sweeps, drone-on-drone searches, and precision strikes before the drones can even launch. Every ambush drone destroyed is one less threat waiting along the road. Ukraine's unmanned systems forces, deep behind Russian lines. 2 radar systems destroyed overnight in the Donetsk region. A PRV-16 Nadezhnost height finder radar used to track aircraft and calculate target altitude for air defense systems. And a second radar, likely a P-18, taken out in the same night. That's numbers 12 and 13 on the air defense destruction list for May alone, and we're only 12 days in. On top of that, a fuel depot, an ammunition depot, and 2 personnel concentration points struck across Donetsk in the same operation. Every radar destroyed is a gap in Russia's ability to detect and respond to Ukrainian aircraft and drones. 12 gone in 12 days. The sky above Russian-held territory is getting harder to watch. When Ukraine destroys 13 air defense elements in just 12 days, at what point does the network simply stop functioning? Vovchansk direction, 57th Separate Motor Rifle Brigade. Self-propelled artillery targeting Russian infantry using abandoned buildings as cover. The logic is clear. Buildings offer shelter from drones and fragmentation, walls, roofs, concealment. But the moment a structure is spotted with movement inside, the equation flips. It's no longer a safe house, it's a fixed target. Multiple buildings struck in the same operation. Infantry spreads across structures to avoid single shell losses. The response? Hit every building where movement is detected. When abandoned buildings become liabilities instead of assets, how do Russian infantry units survive urban defense? That's everything for today. Here's how the front lines stand as of May 12th, 2026. Day 1539 of the war. Fighting continued through the 3-day Victory Day ceasefire period, and once it ended, Russia launched more than 200 drones across Ukraine overnight. Kharkiv was targeted, while energy infrastructure, residential buildings, and other civilian areas were reportedly damaged. Heavy air activity also continued along the front line. Ukrainian air defense units reported intercepting most of the incoming drones. Meanwhile, Ukrainian strike units continued targeting Russian logistics, radar systems, fuel depots, and electronic warfare equipment in occupied areas. In the Donetsk region, Ukrainian drone operators reportedly destroyed multiple radar systems, ammunition storage sites, and support positions over the past 24 hours. On the southern Slobozhansk front, the Strix unit also targeted several Russian electronic warfare systems, disrupting communications across the sector. The battlefield keeps changing, but the drone war never slows down. Subscribe for daily frontline coverage. No agenda, just the facts. See you in the next one.